So this is how powerful, or yeah, there's power behind this kind of connection. How blatantly obvious synchronicities can be. So it has been a very, very long time since I've been able to connect with, befriend anybody who is spiritually orientated. And it started to happen in a big way upon my initial awakening. Like, the information was just coming to me, and it was just constant and consistent, and there wasn't anything that I couldn't provide a gift of an answer to. And so I'm looking for a spiritual teacher because I don't know anything about, methods, and I don't know anything about the Kabbalah. I don't know how to connect. I don't know how to, you know, do telekinesis or anything like that. I've seen it manifest through me at points in my life, like levitating while using the Ouija board, freaking my boyfriend at that time out. So I could never control these things. And so I'm looking for a teacher, and these teachers are basically saying, get out. Out. You're bringing in too much too fast. You're going to burn out. And I was obviously burning everybody out. And then my twin flame, I sense his envy and resentment because he said that I was the most intuitive person that he had ever met. And I mean, he is a psychic, or was at that time a psychic to some pretty elite people. So I was like, oh my God, me? Really? You're impressed with me? And so that's been like the plague that's been plaguing me for so much of my experiences. I just think these people, they're out there, they're doing this. So many people turn to them. They must have so much more than I do, and I really need their guidance and stuff. But it always turned on me, and they always didn't like me. And so I would notice ulterior motives and manipulation in what they would share with me. For example, I was having a hard time. I think it was like a year and a half ago, where I just had this like second awake, like this rebirth experience. Like, literally, I took the deepest breath that I can ever remember taking, and it felt so fresh, so pure, like a first breath. So I was like, ooh, a rebirthing experience. And then 2 or 3 days later, I sensed an echo of it. Now, my twin flame, supposed to be, the contract was that we would play out the twin flame in this lifetime, and I didn't even know what a twin flame was when he came along, but the energy was huge. I mean, I could talk on a cell phone for hours. That cell phone would get really hot, but that battery would not drain. It was just, that connection was gonna be there, and nothing was gonna prevent it. It was just, that was intense. So anyways, when that rebirthing happened and I sensed an echoing experience, I'm like, you can contract to have the play out the twin flame experience at a certain time and just spend the rest of the time, playing with whatever you get, law of attraction, or, karmic, same thing, but other people, they insist it has to be phrased a certain way. But if you're a twin flame, if you're the same soul in another body, or the masculine and, one's the feminine, however, if it's the same soul, it's not suddenly going to be a different soul. You cannot decide, oh no, I'm not your twin flame in this life. I don't want to do that. So that's my soul. And everything that I do is going to affect it. And if I'm leveling up and leveling up, well, that pull is going to be on that other person who is a manifestation of my soul. And so, of course, I'm like, I'm so confused about this because there's nobody in my experience. After he said, oh, he didn't want to do the contract, and he hooks up with this nurse instead, and he contacts me after he gets her pregnant and she has a baby. I don't know if they married or not, but I see pictures of them and I'm like, dude, you turned her into you. And he's complaining about her. She got fat and blah blah blah. And he was not a fit looking man. We'll put it that way. And I'm just like, dude, you made her an exact reflection of you. It's like, that's what happens when men have sex with women. His DNA gets in her system. If he has a stronger, more dominant personality or energy, it's going to overtake her and start, literally, he's going to have to face himself in that woman because she's not strong enough. Her energy's not strong enough to counteract and be self-possessed despite, his psychic. And being a psychic and in a relationship, that little girl had no chance, okay? That was unfair. That is like a monster having sex with a small child. Energetically, spiritually, that's how I always felt about getting into a relationship with people who were not at least somewhere close to my spiritual level, even if they didn't realize it. So I went to, a tarot reader. I knew her in the day-to-day real life experience. I knew, though, that she couldn't be fully trusted. There was a conflict of interest. And so I took her reading with that into consideration. But because of what she said during that reading, I knew that, yes, my twin flames spirit was trying to occupy this other person, which she did not like the idea of that because she wanted to control them. And so I knew, yes, my instincts were right, that this other personality manifested by my soul was trying to play a role, play with this guy. It was trying to use him as a vessel. So with the energies, obviously I knew that it didn't matter which body it tried to use as a vessel. I was not interested. So I let go of that and I moved on. And I just have not, men, they get the I am experience and all of a sudden they're having a sex cult around them. It just never worked out or felt good for me to associate with people who were actively spiritually orientated. And so I've been stuck with only mundane interactions with people. And I have a best friend now. I wouldn't trade her for anything. The boundaries are very clear. They do not believe. Well, she already revealed it. I love her. So she doesn't believe in God. You're not going to sit there. Well, she'll mention spiritual things and she's open. She knows people who do readings and stuff. So she's not against it. But I'm deeply respectful that she's on her own journey and it's not her driving passion like it is mine. She puts more into action, we'll put it that way, rather than knowledge and understanding. And she's damn good with the action part. Very discerning of the people that she helps and refuses to help. Very discerning woman. That's her superpower, I'm telling you. So I recently had somebody reach out to me I was like, oh God, I've been in isolation, number one, playing the hermit, totally celibate, hardly ever leave where I live. My abode. Autumn hasn't left her new abode for a while. And I'm just like, oh my God, so all these mixed feelings come in, and I'm getting hit hard with these solar blasts, and my body is just dragging. And but I was like, you know what? This is a wound I've got to heal. And so I opened myself to the idea of friendship. So just to be supportive, I went to view one of their videos. 'Cause I don't like to siphon psychic energy off of people. I don't want to go to a tarot reader every single day. There's one, never mind. But it's just, I just realized I have to stop watching somebody because they're not in the same belief pattern as I am. But Spirit's using them, to give me messages, and they're just like burning up, and they're getting overwhelmed while they're trying to read for a collective. And I'm just like, all right, I gotta stop turning into this poor kid. It's like I like people who have less viewers because they're just more authentic. They're like me. They're just starting to find their way in their place and their expression and develop their own platform. So I just hang out there, It just seems to be, my level and relatable. So I just went to watch the YouTube channel, hit a like and all of that, be supportive. And they open up and they say something. There's another one that keeps showing up, and the last time, I just checked them out, they did not resonate at all. So, but it kept coming up, and it had this title about like a handler or something, and I'm like, oh God, I don't need no conspiracies against me. I don't need to entertain those. I have felt in the past that no matter what I do, consciously using the law of attraction, anything, when I was exploring paganism and spellcasting and just imaging and stuff like that, I knew that my energy was being blocked. And I've been in relationships where people have said, wow, you have a hedgerow around you, a fence of protection. And they would intercept gifts meant for me and make off of them. So I've known all this, but I'm not going to focus on it because I'm rewarded no matter what on my inner journey. It's been phenomenal. It's probably just having that to focus on because it's the only place where I get reward. It has put me in a position of being a superpower. I don't even worry about, and I don't want to empower further anything against me by focusing on it. So I just kept scrolling past that one dude's video. Like, no, I'm not going to look. No, I'm not going to look. And it just kept popping up and popping up. But I went over to be supportive of, the person that I opened up the door to friendship with. And her video mentions an undercover agent, because one's an undercover agent. Oh, and the other one, and he's the one mentioning a handler. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm seeing this twice. And then, she does different things, and the name popped into her head, so she said it, and she went on, and it just kept bugging me. All right, this is just, I gotta go check this out. So I checked out his video that kept popping up as a recommend, and on his shirt is that name that she said. Because I'm in my head, I'm like, I don't expect her video to be in reference to me, like to have anything too much as a collective in general. My sign this time of year, you know, generally there might be a little something in there, and a lot of it is about, you know, self-awareness, which I pretty much pick up on myself. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of it. But wouldn't you know, her video pointed me over to his video, and the things that he said towards the end of his video, that I was like, I'm not feeling that that's quite. There's something, it's softer. My experience is going to be softer than what he's purporting. So I went back and I finished watching hers, and at the end of hers, it was a softer ending. The one that I had pop into my imagination would be the one for me. So this is a multi-level message for me. Synchronicity, they're getting far more obvious. My intuition about what to expect of what's coming for myself has increased, and it's safe for me now. It's time to start connecting with other spiritually orientated people, where I'm at a place where I'm not going to think, there's not going to be a less than or more than, and there's not going to be competition, and I'll know if there's ulterior motives in the interactions. So lots of benefits coming out of there. Synchronicity getting bigger. My intuition, being able to foresee for myself, is getting better. And it's time to start connecting. I can trust my discernment and bring more good friends like my best one. That's exciting. So this is the potential of what can happen, an example of the way your life can roll if you go down deep into the subconscious, get that self-awareness, and just hang on no matter what, and honor and respect everything that you're going to go through. Because, dude, I've been a mess, and this feels so much better.